Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about how I use the curriculum, the Modern Speller for language arts in our homeschool. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Nicole. I'm a homeschooling mom with 2 kids at home. I have a daughter who is going into 6th grade and I have a son who's 4 doing some preschool work. All right guys, I actually had a request for this video and I don't know why I didn't think about doing it before, because I did use this for half of 4th grade and half of 5th grade, and I am going to be using it for 6th grade. So the program is called Modern Speller. I have Modern Speller Book 2. So Book 1 is the first half of the years, and Book 2 is the second half of the years. I haven't used the earlier levels. I've only used the 4th year and the 5th year. Every year is divided into 2 halves. So for example, we have 5th year, second half. That's what we're working on right now. And what I love about this program is several things. We use it for spelling, our copywork and dictation. We use this for vocabulary. We also use this to discuss and dissect some of the really cool quotes that are in here. I also love that these paragraphs for copywork and dictation are small, but they're packed full of not only complex words, but less known words in modern English, because this is from the early 1900s. A lot of this language isn't being used, and I love this exposure that my daughter is getting from that. So let me give you an example. We ought therefore respect the mason, the carpenter, the miner, the farmer, all those who toil with their hands. Charles H. Ham says, since man owes so much to labor, should he not educate the laborer and shower honors upon him? Now, these are all words that she may know, but in this context, I'm sure she's never heard it said like that. So let's first start how we use this for spelling. So one day we'll do copy work. Well, she'll write this paragraph in her absolute best handwriting. Then the next day we'll do dictation with that same paragraph. So she'll spend several minutes the dictation day memorizing this in her mind. She'll also look underneath each paragraph. They have picked out the words that they believe will be difficult to spell, and they've broken them apart for the child to kind of help them memorize that into their head. And that's with every single paragraph. And my daughter has said that that really, really helps her. So she'll study this for several minutes and then I'll dictate it to her. It's really quick and it's really easy. Now, there'll also be vocabulary words in here that I'll see that I will want to use, because I've been really trying to focus on using vocabulary in context. So what I first do when I'm using it for vocabulary is I'll have my daughter look at the word as it is in the sentence after she's done her copy work. And then I'll ask her, what do you think this means? And then we'll actually look up the definition. I'll have her write it in another sentence. I'll have her do synonyms and antonyms, sometimes additional things. This next year, I'm going to be continuing doing that, but I'm going to be using the School Nest notebook to do it. They have a vocabulary notebook that had a lot of the stuff that I had already been trying to do. Let me give you an example. So here's a page. These are all the same. So up here you would write the word. You have the definition. Here's to write it in your own words. Here's to draw the word. Then up here you would use it in a sentence, copy work. So this is where I'll have her do the copy work from this sentence if I'm using it for vocabulary. And then you can do prefix, root, and suffix. You have synonyms, antonyms, examples, and non-examples, and you have more room down here. So I will actually be using this when I take vocabulary out of this. I do have a separate vocabulary program that we'll do, but I would say that probably 1 out of every 3 paragraphs I pull out vocabulary. It may be that we're doing vocabulary for 3 paragraphs in a row and then we don't for 3 paragraphs, but I think it averages out to that. And honestly, you could use it exclusively for a vocabulary curriculum. There are a lot of good words in here. So another thing that's really cool about it is, let me show you, we will dissect these quotes. So like this quote by Margaret Sangster, do not keep alabaster boxes of your love, tenderness sealed up until your friends are dead. Bring them out now and open them that they may be refreshed and cheered by the perfumes of sympathy and affection. So we'll dissect that, because I knew my daughter didn't understand what that meant. And it was just really cool for us to break it apart, see what she thought, and put all of our ideas together. That was a really fun discussion. We did that on these 2 paragraphs as well, and also on this next poem. Hope is a pleasant acquaintance, but an unsafe friend. Hope is not the man for your banker, but he may do very well for a traveling companion. So That's another way that we incorporate this. And as you notice, I do mark it here. I have CW for copywork and I put the day, and then I have DIC for dictation and I put the day. So that shows us when we have done both, because in the beginning in 4th grade, I wasn't doing that and I couldn't keep track of where we were. So a lot of times these will be famous quotes. A lot of times these will just be stories. Like one of them was a story of how the Liberty Bell came to be. Another story we just finished was about Helen Keller. And that's another thing that this brought to us, is that we did a little deep dive into Helen Keller and we did a little more research on the Liberty Bell because she had been writing about it. And in the 4th grade one, there was about some battle. I don't remember, it's been a while, but we also looked into that. So there are so many different ways you can use it. On top of that, I've marked down here, they will have suggestions for you to do to incorporate it more into language arts every few pages. So like for here, suggestion, syllabicate all review words. Then they have another one, language work. Write the following words, and besides each one, write a word of opposite meaning. And then here's a list of words: gather, near, great, days, liberty, land, disobedient, teacher, teach, employed. And then another example they have is language work. Give the reason for the use of each capital on this page. So they have several prompts like that throughout. And then whenever they're done with whatever it is that you've been working on, whether it's a collection of poems, whether it's a Helen Keller story, whether it's a Liberty Bell story, whatever it is, when you completed the paragraphs related to that topic, they'll have what's called a review, and they'll have all the words that they believe are significant out of what you've learned so that you can review those words with your child. So what I do with the review words is I'll just dictate them to my daughter to make sure that she knows how to spell them. So you may be asking yourself, why would I want to use a spelling program like the Modern Speller? Well, it's a very Charlotte Mason philosophy. And in 4th grade, I had started getting into the Charlotte Mason philosophy and the way of homeschooling. And this was one of the ways I incorporated the copywork and the dictation. And let me tell you guys, when I started this, my daughter really disliked it. Upon reflection, I know it's because 1, she really despised writing then. And 2, she had never really done any formal copywork. So this to her seemed like just a lot of writing without any benefit. However, I will say that her spelling greatly began to improve when we were using it, even though she didn't like it. Then fast forward to 5th grade, where I was like, okay, I'm going to try spelling UC because it's copywork and dictation. Maybe she'll like that more. And the problem was, by the time my daughter was done writing the passage and doing all the chunking, she was fatigued and she didn't want to write in any other subject. And I didn't feel like there were very many complex words for such a long sentence. Whereas this program is definitely a shorter paragraph, but you get more bang for your buck. So after we did Spelling UC Level F Part 1, we finished the whole first half of the year. I said, why don't we go back and try Modern Speller? And she agreed. And since then, she has told me that she definitely appreciates it more because it is less. She does feel like she's learning more. But she did recently tell me that she misses the chunking, and I just think she doesn't remember because she definitely complained about the chunking a lot. So essentially, what this curriculum is free. You can incorporate it for language arts in multiple different ways, and it's quick. It's so quick. It literally takes 5 minutes. Even using vocabulary in conjunction with copywork, this is quick because she's already writing down the sentence for copywork. So I don't have to have her do that like I would with another vocabulary word. I always have her write down the word in the sentence context that we're studying it in. And she's already written it down. So I'll just ask her, what does she think this word means? And we'll look it up and we'll go from there. So it adds like maybe 5 extra minutes. So when we do copywork and vocabulary, we're looking at maybe 10 minutes. So it is really quick. Also, you could definitely utilize all the different language arts prompts they have at the bottom to include. You could definitely incorporate the review in it. There are just so many different things that you can do. But if you just want to be super simple and just do copywork and dictation, that would be perfect. So I am going to link below where you can get it free on archive.org. It can be pretty tough to find the later years. You can easily find the first half of the years, but the second half of the years is harder to find. So I'm going to link that below. Amazon does have it printed sometimes. I saw about 6 months ago, I saw the Modern Speller 1 was printed, and recently I saw they had the Modern Speller 2 to be printed. It's, I think, maybe $10 or so. So if you don't want to print and bind yourself, you can always buy it for pretty cheap. So that is my review. I hope that was helpful for you. And if I didn't mention before, this cover I just found online and printed it because I honestly just didn't love the cover of what it originally came with. And I'll put a picture somewhere of what that looks like. But it's been great. We're using it for 6th grade. We're going to be using it with this vocabulary notebook and just copywork and dictation. I'm looking forward to it. I will be putting my son on it when he's old enough to do this as well. I just think it's been so effective, so quick, and so easy. All right, guys, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. And if not, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.